أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه وله سلم تسليما كثيرا. Inshallah, we are going to start. Surah Al-Imran, and we are with ayah number 78. We finished that one last time, right? We finished 78 last time. Allah Azza wa Jal says about Ahlul Kitab. We know that Surah Al-Baqarah as well as Surah Al-Imran, they are both came to answer all those claims and doubts of Ahlul Kitab, whether Yahud or Nasara, right? So Allah Azza wa Jal is talking about also the characteristics or description. And when Allah Azza wa Jal talking about the characteristics and the description, there are two goals. First goal is to be careful or warned when dealing with someone who have those characteristics, negative, bad one. Number two, not to have them yourself, because this is the nation before us and we need to learn. They have divine book, Allah give it Torah, or Allah give it Injil, Allah give us Quran. Allah send them Prophet Musa, Prophet Isa, Allah send us Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah give them Sharia, do's and don'ts, Allah give us do's and don'ts. There are some people who believed, we have people who believe. Some people who disbelieved, we have people who disbelieved. There are munafiqeen, hypocrites, we have hypocrites. You get the idea here, right? So whenever Allah Azza wa Jal is saying that, like this ayah here, number 78, وَإِنَّ مِنْهُمْ لَفَرِيقًا يَلْوُونَ أَلْسِنَتَهُمْ بِالْكِتَابِ لِتَحْسَبُوهُ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ وَمَا هُوَ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ وَيَقُولُونَ هُوَ مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ وَمَا هُوَ مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ وَيَقُولُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبَ وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. And there is a group among them, those scholars of the people of the book, يَلْوُونَ أَلْسِنَتَهُمْ. Lay means twist. Lawa, lay, lam, ya with a shadda, lam and ya with a shadda is the masdar. Lay, layun, yani twisting something. يَلْوُونَ أَلْسِنَتَهُمْ. You know when we say tongue twisters? Like something like hard. So here is يَلْوُونَ أَلْسِنَتَهُمْ is an Arabic expression. Like someone is trying to sound sophisticated. Someone is trying to sound not normal. When you speak normal, you're speaking normal like this. But when I speak and I say, you know, I am having a class today. Right? So what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to appear or sound in a certain way. Right? Yeah. Somebody also, like among in the academia and all of that, when you get very educated, they start using Latin words, they start using Greek words, French words. You'll be amazed, you'll be surprised that English as a language, when you speak on a very high level, most of the words are not English. They're not English, They are saying, oh, this person speaks with, he's speaking with Elah. Elah in French, right? Is a French word. Right? Elah means like with elegance, or with a status, right? Or they will say, this person is speaking, they said it's chutzpah. What's a chutzpah? It's an English word, chutzpah. But originally it's not English. It's not French. You'll be surprised. It's Yiddish. Yiddish. Yeah, I know. It's Yiddish. Chutzpah means nonsense, nothing. It's bad. Because there is no ch in English. Right? So, what I'm just trying to tell you, that is يَلْوُونَ أَلْسِنَتَهُمْ. I'm just giving you examples, right? When somebody starts speaking in a certain way, they don't want you to understand, right? They said, oh, his words or his conversation is full of faux pas. Faux pas. Yeah, so it's like that. So that's يَلْوُونَ أَلْسِنَتَهُمْ. Now, anybody listening to me, when I'm speaking words that you don't understand, what happens here socially? Be honest, okay? So if I'm speaking and I'm speaking to you, now you are attending a tafsir class, and I'm speaking in English that most of you don't understand. What goes in your head now? Okay, what else? Inferior. Then what's going to do?
You just got to walk away.
That's if you are an honest person. If you are an honest person who came to learn, right? But most of the people don't do that. They just sit there and then
without understanding.
Like this, right? Why? Because everybody else, they don't want to look in front of others that they don't know.
Yeah.
This ayat is like for us to learn this, right? They don't know. So you'll find people sitting there and shaking their heads and all that, even though they don't know what the guy's talking about, because everybody else is seeing, and especially if there is competition among them, the hearts are not together. They're competing with each other. They don't want to show their weakness in front of each other, and that's a mushkila. That's a big problem. And when we learn the deen, that should not be the case. It should be what Sister Rafida said, right? You don't know, so please, I don't know. And then our deen also tells me that to speak to the audience according to their level. I would not speak just because I want status. I want to make it, and that's why politicians, they would use words, keywords that majority of the people don't get. But it sounds good. It sounds exciting. So people are like, oh yeah, you said this, like this kind of thing, but you don't get it. And you don't want to look like I don't get it. And that's why Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying that this marad or this disease was there. وَإِنَّ مِنْهُمْ لَفَرِيقًا يَلْوُونَ أَلْسِنَتَهُمْ بِالْكِتَابِ. So we don't know the Torah. We don't know the Torah. Me as a Muslim, I don't know the Torah. Sahaba did not know the Torah, right? And this is people of deen, of religion. The Prophet ﷺ said those are the followers of Musa alayhi salam. Now they come and recite something that sounds like Torah. So the Muslimin will think what? Oh, that's Torah. And then they go run to Rasulullah ﷺ and said, we heard this and they saying that Musa said this and that. And how come we're different? This kind of issue. لِتَحْسَبُوهُ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ. So تحسب, يحسب means to think. You think it is, right? تحسبوه من الكتاب. وما هو من الكتاب. It is not from the book. It's exactly like someone who comes and walks and you find like they are like muscular and all of that. And even their shirt is like tight on them and they shows like they have six packs. Right? Then we grab that person, we take off the shirt and we find that they have one of those shirts, constricting shirts, right? And with that, and they don't have any of that body and all of this, right? So لِتَحْسَبُوهُ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ. All of this is to deceive others, to look to something that you are not. And our deen is against that 100%. Right? 100%. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us, whoever claims something or knowledge that they are not have, it is like a person who is wearing the clothes that it is not his or hers. كلابسي ثوبي زور. يعني wearing two, ثوبين means the upper part and the lower part. إزار and the قميص, يعني like the Hajj clothes. Yeah, that's ثوبي زور. Zur means lie. Zur means you opposite to the truth. Shahadat al-zur means you testify against the truth. The shahadat al-zur is haram in Islam. Shahadat al-zur. وَلَا يَشْهَدُونَ الزُّورِ. Zur, the word zur means made up. Something made up opposite to reality. So Rasul ﷺ said, that person who is claiming something that they are not, it is like someone who is wearing what? Clothes that it's not theirs. Stolen, or clothes that it does not fit them. So someone who try to look in a way that they are not, to deceive people, not improving their look, but they are trying to look something else, right? To deceive people, or trying to speak to sound different, to deceive people, or trying to appear in a way that they are not. This is haram in Islam. You can't do that. You cannot deceive people. I was listening to a person who calling a Sheikh on in a program, yeah. And then he said, Sheikh, I have a big problem now. He said, what? He said, I got married like a month ago. He said, congratulations, Mabruk. I said, wait, don't congratulate me until you listen. He said, I wanted to get married. And then they told me that there is that lady, that family, good, and then I went and I look, because, you have to see. And mashallah, he said she was like very fair skin, her eyelashes very long, and, she is beautiful, right? And then he said, alhamdulillah, I paid the mahar, I got the marriage, and then, in the morning of the wedding, I found a different lady in my house. different lady in my house. He said, I did not recognize her except through her voice. He said, the green eyes, they became black. And the blonde hair is like, and the long hair became short, and the eyelashes, they were not there. So, Sheikh, what should I do now? I am like in a big dilemma, yani. So the point here I'm trying to say is like, deception does not serve. It might convince someone with something for some time, but it doesn't all the time. It will be discovered at the end. And you know what is the worst part about deceiving someone? Within the person himself. Never satisfied, never happy, never secure, never superior, never. See, never, the word never means never. Anybody who succeeded to convince someone that they are someone else, they themselves are not happy. Wallahi, they will not be happy. They will actually worse, because every time they are doing that thing, it's extra takalluf, like they are going through extra stuff. You are not being yourself, you are going through. I would rather be accepted with my shortcomings than making that extra effort each time while I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Every morning I wake up and I will try to see what kind of lie I'm going to tell the people now to believe me. What is this? How many years I can continue like that? How long I can continue like this? Every time I come out and I speak in a certain way and I talk in a certain way and I dress in a certain way, so people think about me in another. I'm not that person. I'm not that Mamdouh. This is not me, right? So every day I have to go through this effort for what? Think about it. For what? For people to think about someone else. They are not actually respecting me. They are not listening to me. They are not loving me. They are not liking me. They are not following me. They are following that person I created.
Alter ego?
Yeah, that person I created is not me. Okay? I wanted them to follow someone very knowledgeable. I'm not very knowledgeable. I'm just giving you an example according to the ayah. I'm not very knowledgeable. So I want the people to feel that I'm very knowledgeable. So what I'm going to do, I just go read the strange stuff. Strange stuff that people never heard about before. The opinions which is shadh, opinions which is no good. But it sounds like, huh? Really? Someone said that? I will have like 100,000 followers in no time. Okay? So now, whom they are following? Are they following someone very knowledgeable? No. Are they following me with my limited knowledge? No either. They are following that guy who they think is very knowledgeable. So that person doesn't exist. So from me, inside, when I go sit alone at my house, and I say, okay, these people are following who now? Yeah. That's not me, right? I'm not happy. I feel alone. Those people say, oh, we love you, Sheikh, we like you. Well, they are not liking me, actually. They are liking those things I created. Now, if I stop that, would they like me or love me? No. That means I feel saddened now. So actually it gives me the reverse. You get the idea, right? So anybody deceive or do something that they are not truly who they are, it gives the lashback. Actually, you inside of you are not happy, and people, whenever they discover that you lie even once, the whole thing is destroyed. And that's what happened here. Allah Azza wa Jalla answered, said, it is not from Torah. So every time now they hear one of those guys speaking like that, they say, it's not Torah. Now, even if he starts saying the Torah, they will also say it's not Torah. You get it? So the shortest way is to say the truth, who you are. So let those close to you, let those who are your circle come to you because who you are. You would rather have 5-6 people than having 5 million people who believes a lie. Okay? Who believe a lie. وما هو من الكتاب. What else? يقولون هو من عند الله. This is from Allah. That's a bigger lie now. وما هو من عند الله. It's not. ويقولون على الله الكذب وهم يعلمون. يقولون قول. They say على الله, on behalf of Allah يعني. الكذب. They lie. Said Allah said this. Allah made that fatwa. Allah told us such and such. الكذب. وهم يعلمون. It's not like out of ignorance. Sometimes you may think the rule is such and such. I might have read it like this. Maybe you thought, okay? But you're saying, no, Allah said this. While you know inside that He did not say this, you're lying, right? So they're making a lie on Allah. That's the worst thing. And there is a hadith in the Sunnah that one Jewish person commits zina. Zina, يعني a man and a woman commit the zina. So they come to, يعني it came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to rule among them. And he said they are married, they need to be stoned, both of them. So they said, no. Our Torah says no. Right? He says, what your Torah says? He says, our Torah says they need to be slandered, like we painted their face or something like that, and we make them a fine, pay a fine and all of that. Rasulullah said, no, it's not true. Your Torah says stoned. He said, no, it doesn't. He said, bring the Torah. Right? You bring it. And they are like that. If the rule that they have is hard, they go to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If he rules hard, they said, we go back to our Torah. You see, they're trying to do that. So Rasulullah bring the Torah. So they bring the Torah. In some of the narrations where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw the Torah, he respected it. He stood up. Right? And even Rasulullah put his face on it. He said, I testify that you are a revelation from Allah. Originally, the Torah original. But they, made a lot of alterations. So he said, read the section that says the crime of zina, what is the punishment from your Torah. And you have someone to translate, because the Torah is not in Arabic. Okay? So while the man is reciting the Torah, he's putting his hand on the passage. He's putting his hand on the passage that will say that, and he's reading everything else. So one of the Jews who accepted Islam said, Ya Rasulullah, tell him to move his hand and read that part. Because Rasulullah doesn't know how to read or write, right? He doesn't. Said, let him move. So it was written there that stoning is the rule for that person. So what they do, they said, هو من عند الله. The rule of Allah is not to punish like that. Even though the Torah says the rule of Allah is to punish that. Now you understand, وَيَقُولُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبَ وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. They say the kadhib on Allah while they know and they have the proof it is kadhib وَالْعِيَذُ بِاللَّهِ. Right? Now, also يَلْوُونَ أَلْسِنَتَهُم. One of the examples that they used to twist their tongue with something, they say something but they mean something else, or they say a word that is similar. We have as-salam in Arabic, salam, assalamu alaikum. As-salam, la with the lam means peace, right? But if you take the lam out, it becomes death. As-sam. So when you say fast, say assalamu alaikum. Say assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. And that's in Egypt, they do that all the time. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Like that. Samu alaikum, right? And they don't mean this, of course, but that's what the Yahud used to say. Assalamu alaikum. So from far you said, did he say assalamu alaikum or did he say assalamu alaikum, right? Right? So that's why they used to say that to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Like when they are passing, they tell him, assalamu alaikum. See, the trick here is this. They say the death upon you. They don't want him to get it. And they want him to reply with the mercy. You see that? So they wanted to, like, you're insulting me, you don't want me to get it, and at the same time you want me to reply with wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, mercy. So they know that his dua is accepted because he's a prophet, and if he tells us mercy, we will be mercy. It's like weird. It's the worst thing that you can ever see. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gets it. Yani Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was one of, if not the best person who spoke Arabic at that time. Yani. Right? His lisan was the most eloquent, and his ear too. Okay, his ear too, and he's very accurate about pronouncing the words and the letters. And there are narrations that he corrected the Sahaba, like in certain times, right? He said, it's not that, it's this, right? Yeah, so sometimes, one of the times he's teaching dua to someone, and he said, وَنَبِيِّكَ الَّذِي أَرْسَلْتَ. So the person said, وَرَسُولِكَ. He told them, no, in here it is نَبِيِّك. Right? So you have to know what. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so he's sitting with Sayyidah Aisha one time, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she's sitting with him, and one of the Jews passing. And then he said, Assalamu alayka ya Muhammad. Right? So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Wa alaykum. Yes. And you too. To you too, right? So Assalamu alaykum, he said, Wa alaykum. And did not say anything else. So what you telling me? Alaykum too. So Allah Azza wa Jalla is the one who gave it to whoever deserving, yani, right? So if he's telling me death upon you, and upon you too. Right? Wa alaykum. Said Aisha got very angry. Very angry. And then she said, Wa alaykum al-la'natu wal-ghadabu. You sons of such and such and such, right? So Rasulullah said, Ya Aisha, take it easy. Take it easy, Ya Aisha. She said, don't you hear what they said? He said, I heard and I answered. I heard and I replied. Didn't you see me here? I heard what they say. I know exactly what, you get it too. And Aisha radiallahu anha also was known to be among the most eloquent as well. She knows the poetry, she knows that it's not like anyone, yani. Not just a wife, not just a woman. No, she's someone who really aware. That's why she picked it up. Right? Everybody else did not pick it up. Okay? So he picked it up, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he replied, but she just gave it, she could not take it, yani, right? Then he told her, Ya Aisha, ما كان الرفق في شيء إلا زانه. Yani always when you are compassionate, and rafiq means you are lenient, yani. Leniency is a good trait to have at all the time, and aggression is a bad trait. You can be strong but not aggressive, right? This aggression is not a good trait, and being lenient is a good trait even with your enemies. Okay, with your enemies, because you will make decisions right. Okay, even when you go to war, you are a lenient person who's fighting. You are not an aggressive person who's fighting. There are two different things, right? When somebody have that spirit of aggression and they fight with someone, they always go extreme. The revenge is there in the heart. So you are going to transgress the limits. But if it is someone lenient and they take hard measures, they know when to stop. That's why even when Muslimin, they are fighting and the fighting is over, they don't go and start mutilating the body of the people or trying to, crucify people. They don't do that. Why? Because that's not the point. The point is to prove a certain ideal. It's proven, alhamdulillah. It's proven through peace, good. It has to be proven through war, okay, but it has its limit. But somebody going with hatred, with aggression, with grudge, you see what's happening now in every war. Right? It is like, to eliminate. It's a war of elimination. The point for Muslim when they fight is not to eliminate. Wallahi, is not to eliminate. If the other person says, you know what, I'm done, this is the right thing, khalas, you respect. There is nothing after that. That's it. Even, when the people in captivity, you actually supposed to feed them more than you feed yourself. You're supposed to respect them, and it is like that. So the whole point is not the war. It's not to kill someone. It's not to injure someone. It's not to subjugate or humiliate someone. That is not the idea. It's not the idea, right? So here, subhanallah, they are making the dua against Rasulullah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the idea is not like to say, you know what, I understand what you're saying, and I was wrong to make the treaty with you, and I'm going to show you how it is done. You respect me, I'm the head of the state. So you could think about what would be the reaction for now, yeah. Okay? But Rasulullah is teaching his wife, teaching his Sahaba, that's not the way. The point here is not to be the enemy of anyone. Even if they are insulting, there is an answer, right? Alaikum, I got it. Yani he's telling him, I got you, right? I know what you're saying. You know I'm a prophet, okay? And the death is in the hand of Allah. So if I die, I'll die only when Allah wants me to die. Like that. So they used to say this, subhanallah. Also, it's not new. They did that with Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, when he told them, enter the town prostrating. You got to make sajda. So instead of making sajda, they do like this on their cheeks. They don't want to make sajda. You know when somebody is not convinced in the heart with something, but they gotta do it anyways, they will do it. You know, when somebody says, hey, yeah, why you are like frowning all the time, smiling? Yeah. You know what that means, right? Wallah, I wish you did not smile. And when somebody does like that, when I tell somebody like this and they do like this, I wish they did not do it. Either you don't do it or do it from your heart, because this is worse. What you just did now is like worse. It shows hypocrisy, right? Yeah. So someone said you cannot enter except when you prostrate. So they know, okay, all right, let's get over with, and they prostrate. It's like a child. It's like your son or daughter, yeah, right? You tell them you're gonna make wudu and pray right now, right? And they go pray. I'm done. What now? Right? I tell the parents spend more time, and sometimes it's years, to make them love the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. So when they become teenagers, they will pray when they are in their own. When they are in their own. That's what you want. All the time we do when from the birth until they become 15 or 16 is to reach that result when they are 15 or 16. But when you enforce it when it is, then there is lots of distraction in our time now. They will do it just because they dependent on you. But when you are not around, they will not pray. They won't. You know that. We are all parents here. We know what we're talking about, right? Yes, it's not strange. Yeah. So they used to do that. So he told them, قولوا حطة. يعني say we are submitting. حطة, حطة, يعني it goes down, right? And instead of saying حطة, they say حنطة, حنطة. حنطة with a noon, adding noon, means the wheat, the grain, يعني. يعني we want food. And instead of saying we submit to Allah, they say حنطة, حنطة. So always playing around with words. It is that many years before, يعني. It's not new, يعني. When you see it around, it's not new. So Allah Azza wa Jalla says, يلوون ألسنتهم. يلوون ألسنتهم بالكتاب. Not only they are twisting their tongue with the book, but I give you a few examples that they actually twisting the tongue to deliver a meaning which is not the meaning that you want, right? Like the example with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like the example with Musa alayhi salam, with the hitta, it becomes hinta. Here as-salamu becomes as-samu. Now also the word of the Torah, the hukm of the Torah, they change it and all of that. All right? So this is yaluna al-sinatahum bil-kitab. Another word. The word ra'ina. Ra'ina. That we studied it in Surah Al-Baqarah. Ra'ina, ra, alif, ayn, noon and alif. That structure here with the same spelling and the same vowel can be a noun or can be a verb. Right? Ra'ina, ra'ina, if you are ordering someone or requesting from someone to take care of you. Right? Ra'i, you know what is ra'i? Ra'i means like shepherd. Shepherd, like the one who take care of the sheep, yani. Right? Ra'i. So when you tell someone ra'ina means look at us, take care of us. Okay? Now ra'ina like that. Now if you say ra'inan with a tanween, that becomes a noun because verb does not accept tanween. Verb, no tanween. Tanween is a sign of what? Noun. That is the only separation in that word between the verb and the noun, right? Now when you stop in the tanween, what you do? You say ra'ina also. So it sounds like the verb, right? So they come to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, Ya Muhammad ra'ina. Right? Anybody seeing, they say, it means he's saying, look at us or take care of us. But that word with the tanween means you are our foolish person. You are a fool. You are a fool, you know? يعني راعنا means a person who is أحمق يعني. Okay? So they are telling him you are fool, but they make it sound like, you take care of us. So that's why Allah Azza wa Jalla said to the Sahaba, all of them, never say that word to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when you mean take care of us. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقولوا راعنا وقولوا انظرنا واسمعوا. Say انظرنا. Say look at us, Ya Muhammad, Ya Rasulullah, please take care of us. So one of the Sahaba, يعني, when Rasulullah sallallahu is busy, something, Ya Rasulullah, give us some more time. Like, you know, if you say to the Sheikh, give us more time, you know, for your busy schedule, like that, right? So they come to the Rasulullah and say, Rasulullah, ra'ina, you know, ra'ina, yani, take more. So he said, don't say that word, because the Yahud using it, and they mean the other one, the other meaning. So you also don't use it, because they will say, oh, your people also using it. You cannot accuse them that. Yeah. So now they are the only ones who are saying it. That means they are saying it of hatred now. Because the Sahaba changed the word to anzurna because it mixes with another. So now if the Yahud saying it, that means they want the other, right? So that's also one of the thing. Now understand the twisting of the tongue and all of that? Yeah. So a person should be very, 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 very careful when you are using the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, there a joke about, you know, making something sound like Quran whilst it's not Quran, yani, or making something sound scholarly but it's not scholarly, right? So one time a kid, he was in the bathroom and he's singing طلع البدر علينا in the bathroom. So his mother is screaming, the father is screaming at him. The father is screaming at him. Father said, why are you reading Quran in the bathroom? Don't read Quran in the bathroom. So the kid comes out and his father starts beating him up, you know. Why are you reading Quran in the bathroom? Haram alayk, this is... Then the mother comes and said, why you are reading him? He said that because he's reading Quran in the bathroom. She said, Quran what? He said, he's saying the surah of Tala al-Badr alayk. She said, this is not Quran. The father started crying. And she said, why are you crying? He said, because I've been reciting this in Salah for 15 years. So he think it is like his Quran. And by the way, even this one is a joke. Even this one is a joke. Actually, there are some people like that. There are some people like this. One time they make like a show or something like that, and they're asking someone in the street, you know, what's your favorite surah? He said, Surah Tala al-Badr alayna. This is one of the secular people who does not pray or anything, but it was like an Eid occasion, Ramadan, sometimes a religious atmosphere. So the people go for the show, the TV show, on the street, asking people about certain things. So someone said Surah Al-Ikhlas, someone says Surah this, Surah Al-Duha, you know, and this one said, my favorite surah I read every time. He does not pray aslan, right? Is Tala al-Badr alayna. And it became like a big issue on YouTube and all that. So some people believe this. All right. So next ayah. Now, next ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ما كان لبشر أن يؤتيه الله الكتاب والحكم والنبوة ثم يقول للناس كونوا عبادا لي من دون الله ولكن كونوا ربانيين بما كنتم تعلمون الكتاب وبما كنتم تدرسون. The last word تدرسون means you recite and you study the book. درس in Arabic means study, but it also means reading something, right? Dars means listen, right? But the word darasa, one of its applicable meaning when it comes to education is reading or studying. Studying in general is darasa, and darasa, whether through reading or listening or discussing, it's called darasa, right? That's why madrasa is called madrasa. Mudarris is the ustaz, the teacher, right? And the dars is the lesson. But one of the meanings of darasa means recite the book or read the book, okay? So this is one of the words here. Also, Rabbaniyin, the word Rabbaniyin is from Rabb. Rabb means tarbiyah, right? From tarbiyah. I told you last time, Rabb means can be the father, can be the human, the caretaker of something, right? The one who started something, taking care of it and all that is Rabb. Rabbus Sayyara means the owner of this car. Rabbul Bayt means the owner of this house. Rabbatul Manzil means the housewife, the lady who takes care of that place, right? So Rabb. Rabb is Ilah. Ilah. Also our Rabb. Allah is our Rabb. The Rabb of everything now, right? From that sense. Now when we say to somebody he is Rabbani, he is Rabbani, means he's a godly person. That's one of the meaning of the word. Rabbani means he's a godly person, means he's attached to the Rabb, to the Rabb al-Alameen. Yani. Allah is Rabbul Alameen, right? When somebody is Rabbani, means his way is Allah's way, according to Allah. That's one of the meanings. The other meaning is he's teaching people according to the way of Rabbul Alameen. You understand? Rabbani? So Rabbani means a person who himself or herself attached to Allah, a person who himself or herself teaching people according to the way of Rabbul Alameen, all right? Or the third meaning, he is someone doing the tarbiyah for the people under him or her gradually. Doing tarbiyah gradually. So when you put a seed in the ground, the way you take care of it is different from when it sprouts, is different from when it stems, is different when it grows. Every time it has its own what? Way of caretaking. This time it needs good soil. This time it needs fertilization, right? This time it needs watering, and this time it needs this, and then when it grows it needs trimming. Okay, so this is tarbiyah, means you start according to the level. That's why Abdullah ibn Abbas said Rabbani is the scholar who teaches people with easy knowledge and then he takes them to the advanced level. Rabbaniyin, right? So now we have three meanings. One means the person is attached to Rabb, Allah, a godly person, is a person teaching people according to the way of Allah, or it is a person who is taking care of the people gradually. All right? So that's the meaning of that also, and we'll see how it is related into context. All right. Bashar, we know Bashar means human being, yani. Not jinn, yani, right? Not jinn here. It's Bashar. Bashar يعني human. إنسان يعني male or female. الكتاب, the book means revelation. توراة, إنجيل, زبور, قرآن, right? الكتاب. الحكم والنبوة. الحكم means ruling, or it means also some wisdom, means understanding of that book which is revealed to them. Okay. This is like some of the vocabulary in here. The reason of the revelation, there is the narration of Al-Imran Bayhaqi. He says Abdullah ibn Abbas said, one of the Jews who accepted Islam, his name is Abu Rafi' al-Quradi, he is narrating this story. He said when the Rasulullah came to Medina and he preached the deen, yani. So the scholars of the Yahud gathered with him, and the Nasara of Najran also came. And the narration here saying that it happened actually when the Nasara came, Najran, yani, when the surah is revealed, and the Yahud also gathered with them at that time. So the scholars from both religions, they sitting in front of Rasulullah, and he invited them to Islam. They said, "Oh Muhammad, you want us to worship you, like some of us worshipped Isa. Yeah, not all of them worship Isa." He said, "Ma'adallah, yani no way." Then Allah revealed that He said, no human being who's Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Allah give the knowledge, give the Quran and all that, He will invite people to worship Him. Yani, it is not from His characteristic, it's not His personality, it's not fitting, it's not befitting of Him. After we give Him what we give Him, is to invite you to worship Him. But He is to invite you to worship Allah and be godly people, right? وَلَكِنْ كُونُوا رَبَّانِيِّينَ. So this is one of the revelations here, the reason of the revelation also. Also some other narrations, the one time that they asked Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, you are our prophet and all of that. We say salam to you like we say salam to each other. should we make sajda to you like the people before they used to make sajda? Rasulullah said no, don't do that, right? Because he does not want to do anything extra that later after few generations becomes worship. He was very, very careful, right? Even before he dies, he said, don't treat my grave. Even with that said, people do that, right? People do that. So he said, yeah, don't give me anything special. But akrimu nabiyakum, yani honor me as a prophet, as a teacher, right? That's and know the right for the people. Give everybody their right of respect. Now what we benefit from that here, يعني if Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, being the messenger of Allah, who received the wahy, who see Jibreel alayhi salam, who get conversation with Allah azza wa jalla, with all of that, yet he cannot invite people to treat him more. Just treat him as a prophet. Same lesson for anybody with knowledge. Knowledge is supposed to actually make you humble, make you closer to people. So when you see somebody, the more knowledge that they have, they become separate from the people. That means it is counterproductive. This is not the way it's supposed to be. And that's why the person becomes more effective among people. Not effective by fame. Fame is an effect, but this is not the real effect. The real effect is when people start acting in a different way. That's the person with effect. You might not even know. Yani, if I tell you be such and such and such and such, and there is a way to do this, there is a way to do this, I'm going to give you a solution for such and such, and I give you that solution, and you followed that solution, and your life actually changed, right? I did not tell you who made up that solution. Maybe someone you don't even know their name. So it's not me. I just told you a way that I learned from someone else. That someone else is the one who made your life change. And it can be that someone else who made thousands of lives change, right? That person who's sitting in the lab doing something for the humanity benefit from it. He changed the whole world, but nobody knows their name. That is the impact and the effect I'm talking about. Not the effect of somebody famous, right? Not the effect of somebody famous. Someone may be making research, and that research they bring write a book, and that book said, oh, that book changed my life. But this book, he spent 10 years gathering the talks and the opinions of people from before, and they put it there. It is not their creative idea. It is a collective idea from someone else. Now you see the knowledge here, that's what we're talking about. Kunu Rabbaniin. So a person who knows that this wahy is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they should not take it as a ride. So this is a lesson for the scholars and the students of knowledge. Never take it as a ride. Yeah, you might benefit from it in the dunya, what you need, okay? But if you take it as a ride for your dunya, it's not good, right? It is not good. That's why Allah Azza wa Jalla said, ما كان لبشر أن يؤتيه الله الكتاب والحكم والنبوة ثم يقول للناس كونوا عبادا لي. Worship me, right? Worship me. So the person who wants to become famous because of knowledge, they will end up doing what? They will end up being famous because they tell people what they want, right? So when the audience goes less, they look for the reason for that. Why the people went less? Oh, because my lecture was long. But it was long because I'm teaching them what they need, right? Oh, but they paying, so they will not come. If I do that, then I need to change my thing, make it light. So it's always about marketing. So it's not about knowledge now, right? So that's a problem here. But the person who really says the haqq, he changes the people. There might be few followers, okay? Few followers. Maybe the change will not come except 1,000 years after they die. And it happened actually with most of the scholars. That, their books are more effective 1,000 years from their death. I can tell you right now that, Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim, they are more referenced and followed in our time than it was in their time. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, look at how many people access it through the internet now. In their time, they never even dreamt that someone would be seeking the knowledge like that, right? Sahih al-Bukhari now, in our time now, the number of people who memorize Sahih al-Bukhari more than the number of people who memorized it at that time. So the effect may not happen when you are there, right? But that's the required effect. That's the required impact. So this is a lesson we learn from if Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with all what Allah gave him, he does not invite. It's not his right to invite people to worship him. Scholar also is your amana to deliver it's not for people to follow you. Oh, I have 100,000 students. What does that mean anyways? It's by number now? Like, how many followers do you have? Is this what it is? What it is like those students, what are they doing? What are they doing? What they would be doing, that's what counts, right? Even one person is, alhamdulillah, Allah guided one person because of that knowledge. Khayrun min ad-dunya. Stand in front of Allah, said, Ya Allah, with the knowledge that you give me, I affected the life of one person. It's good, right? Maybe that person will affect the life of 1,000, maybe not, Allahu A'lam. But that's not the point, of how many. The point of what you provided the people. All right. Subhanallah, that's why this niyyah is very important, and shirk is very dangerous. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, أنا أغنى الشركاء عن الشرك. I am the one who does not need any partners. And I am the one who's the most who doesn't need any partners. Like maybe you said, I don't need any partners now, right? Or maybe my need to a partner is 10% of my need. Somebody else has 90%. They really need a partner, right? But for me, need for a partner is 10, 20%, so I can survive with 80%. I'm okay, right? Allah Azza wa Jalla said, أنا أغنى الشركاء عن الشرك. Means it never happened, it's not happening, it will never happen that I need any partner. So you have to get that out of your head. Means at no time, no circumstances, under any reason that I will need a partner. So with that said, anybody who bring a partner with me in something that he or she has to do for me alone, I will leave them with that partner because I don't need partners. So if you make a partner with me, you and the partner go away. I have nothing to do with me. You have nothing to do with me. You see what scary. So if there is a niyyah that need to be done for Allah alone, and you associated someone with Allah, Allah said, I don't want that because I don't need partners. So anything you need for partners, for you and the partner. So that's why it is very, very, hard. So if there is something if there is a zakah, sadaqah, supposed to be giving for Allah Azza wa Jal, and now you are giving it for people to see you, nothing from it goes to Allah Azza wa Jal. It's not like, 20% was for Allah and 80%, so you get rewarded for 20%. You get rewarded for none. For none. Because Allah does not need partners. You bring partner, so your reason is that reason. Allah does not want partners. Not 1%, not 0.5%, no percentage. See how hard the niyyah is? Yes. Yeah, it's very hard. So doing the salah, the act of salah, siyam and all that might be hard, but the harder is to do it sincere. This is the harder one. It is, some people sometimes they look at the amal itself as the hard, the going umrah or going hajj or something like that. It might be physically hard or mentally hard, but the real hardship is why you're doing it. To show off, to do this, to do that. Oh, that's the case here. Be careful, because if that niyyah is there, means it's done. Yeah. All right. But what the Prophet should say, walakin here means what he should be inviting people to. So if he is a prophet, it is not befitting to the Prophet to be inviting people to worship him. Lakin here means but, right? But he should invite people to do what? Kunu rabbanina. You are teachers, you are scholars. بما كنتم تعلمون الكتاب, the way you teach the book, وبما كنتم تدرسون, and what you read to deliver to the people. So when you read more, when you study more, as I said in the beginning, it should humble you, it should make you teach people, should make impact or effect on people, should pray to Allah to save you, because you are in big danger. What you have, the more knowledge you have, can take you to the highest degree of Jannah or the lowest degree of fire. There is nothing in between, right? So if it is done properly, it's like you have a gift. It's like you have a gift. That gift, if used properly, can make you the best. If it is not used properly, it will destroy you altogether. But you got the gift already, right? So you got the package already. You cannot say, I don't want it anymore, right? Because you got the knowledge, and that's it. So that's the dangerous part. So a alim, or a student of knowledge, or someone in the path of Allah. Now, when we started in the very beginning, we said the importance of ilm, seeking ilm, that, it's like jihad fi sabilillah. It's like everything, making istighfar to you, everything. This is the good part. The good part is, as long as your niyyah is sahih, subhanallah, the whole universe is with you. But if the niyyah mixes up, it all curses you. So it's a problem, right? That you are like in a, those people in the circus, they're walking on the wire, like this, balancing themselves with a big stick, and they're walking. And if they fall like on needles. It's not like falling on the ground that you will be broken or something, like dead for sure, right? Those spikes, if you fall, they'll fall like that. If you walk straight, is very impressive, okay? And people learn from you how to be straight and balanced and all of that. And when you reach fame and you reach good. I'm just using that example, right? But in the deen is like this, subhanallah. When you are learning and you are like that person, trying to balance yourself, and it's hard. Sometimes you are off balance, sometimes this. But the alim or the scholars, if they fall, right? And this is hard. So may Allah save us all, subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when they reach al-firdaus ala tool. They reach the highest degree. Right. Also, this ayah is telling us that the value of ilm and the closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With knowledge. Allah Azza wa Jal says in the beginning what? Kitab, hukm, and nubuwwah. Then the word Rabbaniyin. You want to be a godly person? You want to be someone who gets people closer to the way of Allah? You have to have the kitab, al-hukm, follow the Quran and the Sunnah. And that's how you're going to become a leader. Not by twisting the tongue. Not by trying to look like, the shuyukh, they taught us that when you are in a halqa of a alim or a sheikh, there is a temptation that you want to ask a question. Okay? So ask yourself before you ask the question. Why am I asking that question? Because I want people to see that I'm asking the sheikh? Yeah, because it can be. Or I want the sheikh himself to know that I know something, which is very common, by the way. It's very common. It's not like a small thing. I'm telling you because I know, right? We all went through this stage. So I'm not telling you that I did not go through this stage. I'm telling you every student goes through this stage. At some point, that when there is a big scholar or a sheikh, you are sitting in their halqa, you want them to know, I am here. And I know something. And oh, that's a smart question, Be careful. Don't ask that question. So our sheikh said, if you have that question, don't ask it. If this is like that, if your niyyah is like this, don't. Just move on. You can ask someone, you ask him later, or ask him, between you and them, and make sure that otherwise it will destroy you. Because that feeling is going to be there. Oh, the sheikh now knows me. Oh, all the other students know that I'm asking only big questions and smart questions. Oh, that's a killer. It is a killer, right? So it's very, very important to, when you behave. And by the way, the shuyukh develop a sense later, after years of work. The older they are, they kind of have that sixth sense. When a person asking a question, they know exactly why he's asking it. They do, because people ask questions every single day, right? So you kind of know the questions, how they're coming, where they're coming from, and all of that. Yesterday somebody asked me a fatwa. It's very strange. So is it, Sheikh, if there is a party, a gathering for work employees in a company, they're together, and there are men and women, some of them are not wearing hijab and they're mixing and all of that, and we have pictures. Can we take pictures? I said no pictures, don't take pictures, right? So he said, but it's work and all of that. I told him, listen, akhi, uh, either you take what I just told you, right, and see what is the necessity. Because the very beginning I told him, listen, if it is work and if the rule is like this, if there is a necessity and you cannot avoid, then you do it as muttar, as a person who is under necessity, right? Like there is a necessity, like at your work, this is a requirement of your job, otherwise you're going to lose the job, or this is something beyond your control, you cannot control it. Then we will do the hukm based on that. That's number one. Number two, if there is harm and there is benefit, there is maslaha and there is madarra, right? Mafsada. So number one, there is a necessity, it's coming from above you, that is the rule, that's part of the job, there is a social hour, there is something like that, it has to be documented and they take pictures, so it's not your, right? So it is like the companies, and you don't have a choice in that, and if you abandon, then it will become a problem, right? So then you go with it. Or if there is a benefit and there is a harm, if I become part of, I have the choice, if I don't go, the harm is worse than the benefit. The benefit is not I don't participate. That's the benefit, right? The harm, if I don't participate, it's going to have other repercussions. So you have to weigh that and do it. That's a fatwa, right? So you should hang up and then you have your situation, you analyze it, right? Because now I'm giving you leeway, and I'm giving you like a bigger to act. Because I know where is this going, right? Then he said, but this. I told him, listen, ya akhi. Listen to me. Now you are going to make it hard for yourself, and I'm going to show you, right? Because you did not take stage one, right? So now stage two. Who is doing this party? Right? Who is doing this party? He said, I am doing it. I said, then you cannot do it. Right? Because now you have control. You are the owner of the company now. Yes? So he is telling me, but okay, what if I do the party and all of that, but I cannot prevent people from coming? I said, true, but don't bring the musawwir. Don't bring the photographer. You can make the party without photography, right? He said yes. I said, then don't bring the photography. He's not satisfied, right? He's still talking, told them, believe me, you are going to make it even worse. He said, but ya Sheikh, what if, what if coming is going to make it harder for you? What if that photographer is a Muslim? And we will tell him to avoid taking pictures. I said, that's actually even worse now, right? Because him being a Muslim should not take photography of people who are not dressed properly, right? Being a Muslim, he had that choice. Now you are adding another variable to the equation. See, I told you you're going to make it hard for yourself. In the beginning, I told you how to attend the party for necessity and all of that. You should have said, I am the employer, it is important for my clients, it's important for my employees, so I'm going to do it, and as much as I can, I will avoid the issues of doubt. You could have done the party, right? Now, you said, I am the one who's the party. I told you, now you have responsibility to make sure that the right thing's happening in the party. And anything which is not right, you'll be sinful, right? And don't bring photography. Now you said, I'm going to bring a Muslim guy, that's even actually worse. So now you are supposed to do the party properly. And if you make photography in it, you become sinful. And if that Muslim brother comes, you become sinful for him, and he is sinful too. Yalla, go Bismillah. Fatwa's over. But you see the idea here, right? So don't try to go around the issues. Don't try to go around the issues. ولكن كونوا ربانيين بما كنتم تعلمون الكتاب وبما كنتم تدرسون. So that's why I'm telling you, the Sheikh develop over time the sense of things. And I told you the fatwa last time of the lady, the third divorce and all of that, right? So whenever you are asking a scholar, search first in your heart. Is really my intention, is it really to find the haqq so I can follow it? Or I want a fatwa to support my hawa? This is the question that you, everyone should ask. Before you are asking about the Islamic ruling in anything, ask yourself, why am I looking for the Islamic ruling? Because I want to see the haqq, and I follow it as much as I can. Yani. I will struggle to follow it, right? I might not end up following 100%, but that is my desire. Really, I want to be saved, right? I will do as much as I can. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ لَا يُكَلِّفُ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِلَّا وُسْعَهَا. Yani if you are in trouble, but you want to get out of the trouble according to the way of Allah and His Rasul, and I give you something which is very hard to do, but your desire is to do anyways, and you're struggling to do it. That's one way. Or the other way is, you know what, I want a way out from whatever. I want something to accommodate this. And if it tells me it is okay, then I'm happy. If it tells me it's not okay, I'm not happy, because already I decided what I want. Then there's a problem, right? So it goes both ways. As a scholar and as a person who's questioning. It's very important. So be very careful. And I'm telling you, wallahi, giving fatwas to people and teaching people, it humbles you. It shows you how big is the musibah, yani. How big is the problem, right? The akhlaq problem. You know akhlaq? We don't, believe me, we don't have a sharia problem. We don't. And maybe people will disagree with me. You know, the aqidah problem, the worship problem, they have problems. We have problems with that. But that's not the main one. It's not the main one. We have an akhlaq problem, moral problem. Morality. Among humans in general and Muslims in particular. Because this is Muslims, this is our deen, right? Morality, morals, principles, values. We have problems with those. We have problems with those. That's the issue. That's the issue. So, yani, people sometimes, and when we have problem with that, you know what happens? We start interpreting each other's intention. We're very busy with that one. Interpreting people's intention. Me and you and everybody, and so we share this to a certain extent. And instead of trying to make our intention is yours. My intention is mine, your intention is yours. I'm not going to say, oh, you want such and such. Who told you that that's what I want? You know, I enter the masjid and everybody assume that I'm here to lead the salah. Who told you this? Really, who gave you that meaning, you know? Even if this is my intention, what's your business with that? Yeah, in your local masjid, let's say in your area there is a masjid, right? And then, I decided to go pray in the morning in that masjid. When I enter the masjid, why people would think that I'm entering here to lead the salah? Maybe actually I'm going to that masjid because I don't want to lead the salah. Because if I go to my place, everyone will say, please go. I don't want that. I'm going somewhere, but unfortunately, why I'm saying this, I'm not interpreting people's intention. Because actually they came and told me that. They came and told me that. They said, we're talking to the people, said, oh, Sheikh Mamdouh is here, he should lead. He said, no, he will not lead. He's coming here to lead the salah. We're not going to let him do that. That a conversation that took place like this. Otherwise, how would I know? How would I know, yani? I would be also accusing people's intention, right? But actually someone come to me and said, Wallahi akhi, now you're making it very hard for me even now. I wish you did not tell me that. Just let me come pray. Who thinks whatever they think, right? Anyone leading the salah, as long as they say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, I will pray behind them. That's actually why I came here. I don't want to go to other masjids because of what you are accusing me. I'm coming here, wallahi, not to be the imam. I swear by Allah the Almighty for you. I can write you, I bring 2 witnesses. I am not here to do any leadership position. None. Right? None. I'm not here to do any. And unfortunately, everybody interpreted the opposite, making me feel sad, actually, right? Then he talked to the person and they said, let the Sheikh lead. I told him not to do that, right? But then the brother, out of his heart, he said, we don't know how to recite. This man knows how to recite, right? Let him said, no, he can come and pray as long as he's behind me. About me, right? All right. I'm behind him anyways. That's all right, right? So this is how we start interpreting each other's intention. And that's not good. And this is now on a 2-3 people's level. Can you imagine now this is on the Muslim Ummah level? Now we know where we are, right? Because of that. Start interpreting each other's intentions. You interpret people's intention and then you act according to it. Why? Take me for what you see outside. Leave my intention between me and Allah. Let my intention take me to Jannah or hell, ya akhi. It's not your business. Just judge me by this. Okay? So somebody coming, stepping in. Alright, who is that? This is Mamdouh. He knows Tafseer. Okay, we want to learn Tafseer. Study with him Tafseer. Right? Now don't engage yourself on why I'm holding this class here. Why I'm holding this class here? To become famous? To come on the camera? To be posted on YouTube? To get your money? Don't worry about that one. Let me handle this between me and my Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I will let you handle why you are here also. Why each one of you came to this class is your business. It's your business. I am going to treat all of you as students. And anyone who does not understand, I will make sure you understand. Every one of you have the right to give me the question. And I'm going to say, not going to sit here and say, oh, they are asking my question to show off. I'm warning you. But if you do it, even if I know that you're doing it, I'm not going to say anything. I'll just answer you like that. Maybe it is not your intention. Even maybe I sensed wrong. But I'm just telling you, the shuyukh sense that. So just for you to know. But even if I sense it, I'm not going to judge you based on it. I'll still answer your question. Right? And it's the same thing. If you sense from me some arrogance or something like that, maybe your sense is wrong. Maybe it is right. But let me handle that. I hope you got that. It goes both ways, right? Yeah. So if we start interpreting each other's intention, wallahi, we're going to go behind. Very backward. And that's what happens. Everybody, oh, she's doing that because of this. Did she tell you? No. You just act according to what you see. But don't get into people's heart and then deal with them. Heart is in the hand of Allah. Imagine if we know each other's intention. Wallahi, we'll not deal with each other. We're not going to look at each other's face. I'm telling you, you are not going to sit here and learn from me. And I will not sit and teach you. Husband and wife will not live together. Will not live together. The children will run away from their parents. If everybody knows everybody's intention. Can you imagine? Can you imagine now? If I'm sitting with my wife, hi honey, how are you doing? I miss you so much. And she knows what's my intention inside. While I'm telling her that. She said, liar, in front of, because sometimes I lie saying that.
Oh.
Yes.
Come on, you can't be the most beautiful woman in the world.
Every husband and every wife, they lie doing that. And actually it's required. That's why Islam sanctioned it. Islam said it's all right to do it.
For the good.
Yeah, so I'm just telling you, imagine if you know each other's intention behind that, right? You know what? I'm going to go home tonight and I will really tell and I will mean it. Why? Because if I don't do that, then she's upset. Then I'm not, So my intention now is not really I mean it, but my intention is the benefits I get out of this. So if she knows that intention, now the words of love are not words of love anymore. And maybe she is saying that because I'm so tired, I'm so exhausted, and she's smiling at my face and she's doing that, even though she's tired and exhausted from inside, she doesn't mean it, but she is doing it that's true love actually. That's actually true love, right? But if I have access to the niyyah, it will not mean anything. Why I'm saying this, we try to interpret each other's intention, but the truth is, if you actually know each other's intention, you will not be dealing with each other. So it's a rahmah of Allah that intention is hidden from you, so don't actually go and dig in it. Please. Don't dig in anybody's intention, right? Just deal with them, with what they do, and try to correct the action if it is wrong. Try to correct the word if it comes wrong. Oh, Sheikh, that word is offensive. But you are not accusing my intention that I wanted to be offensive. But that word, Sheikh, is offensive. You are not telling me, oh, you're trying to be offensive now.
That's accusation.
Yeah, so I'm not trying. Maybe that word came by intention. Maybe that word came unintentional. So treat with it as if it is unintentional. Taban, this is another subject, but subhanAllah, that ayah triggered lots of good things. Now we come to a very important ayah, which is ayah number 81. That tells us that even prophets of Allah, even the prophets of Allah, they have a duty. They have what? A duty. And they have a threat also. And Allah Azza wa Jal is making it hard for them if they go away from Allah Azza wa Jal. They will not, but I'm just telling you that this is how their situation is. How about us now? Allah took a covenant from them. They said, you fulfill that covenant, you're good. You don't fulfill that covenant, there's a problem. Allah Azza wa Jal telling Rasulullah, for example, لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ, if you commit shirk, ya Muhammad, لَحَبِطَ عَمَلُكَ لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ لَيَحْبَطَنَّ عَمَلُكَ, your deed will not count. He's telling that to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Oh, subhanallah. He's telling that to Rasulullah. Taban, that word does not indicate any possibility of this happening. Right? But it tells you even that. And Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, if Fatima, the daughter of Muhammad, steals, Muhammad will cut her hand. Actually, there is no possibility in anybody's mind that she will be doing that. Right? It's far from, but she's a human being, right? So Rasulullah is doing that. Why? Not to give privilege. So again, yes, the Prophet has a privilege that he is the highest, but that's how Allah is threatening. Allah Azza wa Jal. So how about you and me? Should take heed, right? If he's talking to Prophet like that, we are actually should be scared, you know. We should go to Allah Azza wa Jal more often than what we do. So Allah telling here us, telling Rasulullah, telling us, وَإِذْ أَخَذَ اللَّهُ, and when Allah, ميثاق is covenant. ميثاق is a covenant. ميثاق النبيين, the covenant of the prophets. لما آتيتكم من كتاب وحكمة, يعني I am the one who give you the book and the wisdom. ثم جاءكم رسول مصدق لما معكم, and a messenger will come who is testifying or attesting to what you have, what you are going to do. Allah talking to prophets, huh? Like talking to Adam, to Nuh, to Hud, to Salih. Allah took that covenant from each one of them, right? He said, I give you the book and the wisdom. Yes? Yes. If a messenger comes to you, referring to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is repeating or attesting or affirming what you came with, لَتُؤْمِنُنَّ بِهِ, you're going to follow him, believe in him. وَلَتَنْصُرُنَّهُ, and you're going to give him nusra, help, support. After Allah took that covenant, He asked each and every messenger, أَأَقْرَرْتُمْ, do you confess? Do you agree? وَأَخَذْتُمْ عَلَى ذَلِكُمْ إِصْرِي, وَأَخَذْتُمْ عَلَى ذَلِكُمْ إِصْرِي. Right? Al-Isr means ahd, means like, you know, confirmation. يعني ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. Right? This is the confirmation, affirmation. يعني duty to fulfill. Al-Isr means the confirmation of a covenant that results in fulfilling duties. See how many words to interpret that, right? So Isran, Isr, the word Isr يعني means the confirmed covenant that leads to fulfilling duties. Ahd is the covenant itself, right? You do this, you agree? Yes, I agree. Now I took the covenant from you. Okay? But al-Isr is what this agreement will lead to. You get the idea? So now we have an agreement. Okay, Sister Ravida, you are going to do such and such. You said, okay, I will do it. I said, you give me your word. See that word now? That's the Isr part. Okay. You know, Isr means like you agreed, you understood, you're going to sign now. Right? So you give me your word that you're going to do that. He said, I give you my word. That statement, Isri, you know, that will result on what? You take it to action now. You're going to fulfill that now. So it is not like just a contract you might change or say, you know what, I cannot fulfill it. I tried it, but it is hard. It doesn't work like that. Right? Once the covenant is taken, قال أقررتم, you agree? Yes. أخذتم على ذلكم إصري, you're going to fulfill now, you give me your word? Yes, Allah will give you your word. خلاص. قال فاشهدوا وأنا معكم من الشاهدين. You are witnesses, I am witness too. The deal is sealed. The deal is done. If Muhammad comes sallallahu alaihi wasallam while you are alive, you are going to hand it to him. So that was said to Adam alayhi salam. That was said to Nuh alayhi salam, to Hud, to Salih, to Shu'aib, to Ibrahim, to Musa, to Yaqub, to everybody. You are a prophet. I give you the book. I told you to do such and such. Yes, but there is a prophet who is going to come as Khatamun Nabiyyin. Right? In every book. The seal of all the prophets. Yes, Ya Allah. If he comes at your time, you're going to hand the responsibility to him and you become his follower. You take covenant, you understand the words? Yes, Ya Allah, understand. أخذتم إصري, you're going to fulfill? Yes, Ya Allah. خلاص. Sealed. فاشهدوا أنا معكم من الشاهدين. Why Allah is mentioning this here? If you claim you are a follower of Musa, Musa himself took a covenant to follow Muhammad. Right? If you are saying that you are a follower of Isa, Isa himself took a covenant of Muhammad. Yes. You see the idea here? Also, it tells us as Muslims that we are not just a novel religion, an independent religion came to change everything before. We actually came as a fulfillment. That's why Rasulullah said, I am the promise of Ibrahim, I am the dua of Ibrahim, I am the promise of Musa, I am the glad tidings of Isa, right? Ibrahim alayhi salam said, Rabbana wab'ath fihim rasula. Ya Allah, send a messenger for these people. Rasulullah said, I am the response to that dua. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, he said, a prophet after me will come, his name, a prophet will come after. So he promised Bani Israel, yani. So Rasulullah said, I am that promise that Musa alayhi salam did. And Isa alayhi salam said, وَمُبَشِّرًا بِرَسُولٍ يَأْتِي مِن بَعْدِ اسْمُهُ أَحْمَدٍ. I'm giving you a glad tiding that a prophet comes. He said, I am the glad tiding of Isa, right? So that is a message for both. If you are a follower of Musa, your leader said, yes, I will follow Muhammad. So you should follow Muhammad if you believe in your leader, right? Your prophet. Isa, same thing. And it tells the Muslims as well that this deen comes musaddiqan for the deen, for all the messages that came before, because all the prophets took that covenant. So you should be proud. That's why we believe in all those messengers, because they are our prophets. They are our prophets. If they are resurrected, they will follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Isa alayhi salam, when he comes at the end of that time, he is following Rasulullah. That's his faith anyways. It's his belief from day one. Yani when he became a messenger of Allah, one of the components of his message is to believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam if he comes. So he's ready for that anyways. So this is a very important ayah because of that. فمن تولى بعد ذلك فأولئك هم الفاسقون. Whoever goes away and change their word, they are the fasiqun. Fasiqun is the plural of fasiq, the one who is rebellious, the one who leaves the religion after they know. So if the Prophet take a covenant, it's not only for him, it is for his ummah as well. Yani we tell the Yahud, Musa alayhi salam took the covenant. Our book says that Musa took the covenant of following Muhammad. That means this covenant is upon you. You are not following it, means you are not following Musa alayhi salam. You are not being true to your religion. That's what we believe. That's our belief. Choice is yours, that's fine. But we're just telling you how it is, right? No. So that was Allah Azza wa Jal telling Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell them that. So that was this ayah actually came and Rasulullah recited it for them. So they actually known it. طبعا the فروع of the deen, فروع, we have usul, we have فروع. Usul is plural of asl, means the foundation. فروع means the branches. Okay? Usul and فروع. Usul and فروع. Usul is the foundations, fundamentals. So when we say usul of the deen, our usul of the deen is to worship Allah, is to do this, to that. Furu' of the deen, how to pray, how to fast, how to do, how. Right? This is furu'. Yeah. Furu' can be different, but usul is the same. Allah is one. That's one asl, right? Tawheed. Nobody can change that. Okay? Also, to pray. The prayer as a pillar of Islam is asl. Right? But nafli this or nafli that, or pray, how to pray, how to put your hand, the tahara, there are differences in the furu', yani. The branches, there are different, but the usul is there. And nobody can come and say, we pray 3 times only, not 5. Or I'm going to pray 3 rak'ah zuhr instead of 4. You cannot change that. This is the asl, right? But the fara', few differences now, right? So that also tells us the differences among prophets is more in the furu'. Right? It is more in the furu'. Yani they pray. but how they pray, they differ, right? They fast, but how they fast is different, okay? But they believe in Allah one. That's all of them. اعبدوا الله ما لكم من إله غيره. They all agree on that one. So all prophets of Allah agree on that one. And that's why before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sometimes 2 or 3 prophets will come at the same time. Musa wa Harun alayhi salam, Zakaria wa Yahya alayhi salam, Yaqub wa Ishaq wa Ibrahim, Ismail wa Ibrahim, right? They, more than one main prophets, يعني. So the religion should not be the reason or a source of enmity or animosity. But it is because people forgot the usul. They differ in the usul, not in the furu', right? They differ in the usul or the foundation. Subhanallah, there is a covenant. Allah took covenant from the prophets. Allah took covenant from all humans, but we don't remember that. Allah took the covenant from Adam alayhi salam. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allah Azza wa Jalla wiped on the back of Adam. All his offspring came until Yawm al-Qiyamah in a form of the soul, the world of the soul, yani. Like small ants or small things. If they have light that came out. Allah took the covenant from everyone. That's what we call fitra, right? Everybody wants a God to worship. Fitra, you know, wants a higher being, higher entity that is powerful or have ability over everything. Every human being have that in their head, you know. I want that entity that can do things that I cannot do or anybody else can do. Highest. If you leave someone by the fitra, they want to worship someone. Okay? So Allah Azza wa Jal took that covenant from all of us, but then we forget. We don't know. So that's why He sent messengers to remind the people. Right? So this ayah here is like a reminder for the Jews, for the Christians, for Rasulullah, for the Muslims, the Sahaba, for everybody else, that Allah take covenants. And Allah does not abandon people and then punish them, or reward them for something they didn't do, or punish them for something that they did not have. No, He gives everybody a chance, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds. And that's why we have the Quran as a record. It reminds us that this covenant is taken. Subhanallah. Then Allah telling Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, after all of this, what should we say? Our faith. What is our faith? And after Allah took covenant from all the prophets, and this covenant is not only for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's for not only for prophets, but for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for all the people. Then Allah said, now what should you state as faith? Billah, qul amanna billahi. Qul ya Muhammad. If Allah telling Rasulullah qul, every time you see qul in Quran, it's for you and me as well. So qul, the interpretation is who speaking to who? Allah speaking to Rasulullah Muhammad. Because He said qul. He did not say qulu. Surah Al-Baqarah says qulu, right? Qulu, all of us. But here it says qul to Rasulullah. Still it means that it's not him alone. Unless there is an ayah say that's for him alone. But there is no such a thing, right? If Allah said qul, means for you. Qul huwa Allahu ahad, that's what you and me have to believe in as well. Qul a'udhu rabbil falaq, that's what all of you and me. It's not only for Rasulullah. So Allah telling Rasulullah qul, say amanna. That's why He did not say qul amantu. He says qul amanna, right? Qul means He say amanna, we believe. So He's speaking on our behalf, يعني, right? Means we all have to state that. Qul amanna billah. Qul amanna billah. يعني, that can mean, Ya Rasulullah, Ya Muhammad, say that you believe in Allah, you and your companions, or say that you're going to tell them amanna billah. Qul qulu amanna billah. يعني, say to them, say amanna billah. So both, يعني, that's why you follow what Allah tells Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam do it. Like Allah Azza wa Jalla telling Rasulullah Surah Al-Talaq. Surah Al-Talaq, you know, there's a surah called Talaq, divorce. Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu. So now whom Allah is speaking to? إِذَا طَلَّقْتُمُ النِّسَاء. Now He's speaking to who? About who? About anybody who's going to divorce, right? but he's talking to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So nobody can say Allah is talking to Rasulullah regarding to his wife only. If he divorces his wife, that's what happened, right? فَطَلِّقُهُنَّ لِعِدَّتِهِنَّ وَأَحْصُوا الْعِدَّةَ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ. Just talking about iddah. That means this ayah belongs to only the wives of the Prophet. It does not apply to any of the Muslimin. It doesn't make sense, right? It applies to everybody, because if Allah talking to Rasulullah, if this rule applies to Rasulullah with his wives, it applies to everybody with his wives as well, right? Unless Allah Azza wa Jal said it's only for you, which happened in Surah Al-Ahzab. وَامْرَأَةً إِنْ وَهَبَتْ نَفْسَهَا لِلنَّبِيِّ إِنْ أَرَادَ النَّبِيُّ أَنْ يَسْتَنْكِحَهَا خَالِصَةً لَكَ مِنْ دُونِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah Azza wa Jal says that if a woman comes to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and she said, Ya Rasulullah, I offer you myself in marriage, and he accepts, marriage is done. And no witnesses, no mahar, nothing, right? But this only applies to who? Right? And that's it. And it did not happen. Yeah, it did not happen but once, but not go through. Yani. A woman actually came, that's the way a woman came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, offered herself. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, I'm not interested. And then one of the companions, he said, I want to marry her. Then he said, what is your mahr that you have? He said, I don't have anything. He said, you memorize Quran? He said, yes, I memorize Quran. I said, this surah. I said, okay, I marry her to you, and her mahr is to teach her those surahs. She accepted, he accepted, and they got married, right? But I was talking about that hadith one time, and I was saying that the community, the society of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you look to those kind of details, they are more liberal than you even think. Wallahi al-azim, it is more liberal than you even think. Sometimes we think that, you know, at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all the women are like covered and they are hiding and they are like running away. No, I just told you a hadith that somebody says salam alaikum wa Rasulullah sitting with Aisha. Where were they sitting? And when he passed, they say salam alaikum. Where they were sitting? Somewhere that scene, yes, yeah, and she answered him, and there was some exchange, right? This woman here, in this hadith, and this hadith is sahih, she came and stood in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Where Rasulullah sitting among his companions, how was the layout? The Sahabas are around him, the men, and the women are in the back. Yes. Actually, Rasulullah ﷺ told the men to sit in their place until the women leave. And the women, they come in the Fajr Salah while they covered and all of that, so nobody can see them, and they leave while it's still dark. It is sunnah for the women to leave the musalla earlier and the men to leave it later, because there was no partition or anything like that. And that's another thing, So she came through all the way, and she sat in front of him, stood in front of him. All right, now, and when she give him the offer, what kind of woman is that? I used this when I was sitting among some people who were not that practicing, right? Some of them, long time before. I used it recently, but that's not the case. But before that, I used, and I asked them, because they're saying how strict Islam, partition, masjid, all of that. I said, okay, would you imagine for a minute that I am sitting in halqa with you around me, right? And those sisters that we put them in the back and all of that, right? Now one sister, she comes and then, she offered me marriage. My wife is going to be mad, right? Of course, this is, but that's not the point I'm trying to make here. But I'm saying that a woman comes all the way and she cuts through. You guys are the liberal ones here, right? You're the ones who are against this, and you come here, and she stands right in front of me and they said, Sheikh, if you're interested in marriage, I'm interested in you, I want to marry you. What would you say about that woman? He said, oh, what a woman, this is too much, Sheikh. I said, you liberal saying it's too much, right? Okay, what if I kind of look her up and down like this? And they said, no, thank you, I'm not interested. I said, Sheikh, wallahi, why you look her up like this? The liberal, huh? He's saying, why you have to look up and down, like from her head to her toe, like seeing her body and all of this, I said, see, means I'm a bad guy now, right? According to your standard, Mr. Liberal, right? He said, okay. I said, okay, if one of you now, he said, Sheikh, if you're not interested, I'm interested. I said, no, this is bad manners, How come? I said, All of this happened for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Can you imagine now? If you read, you will know how our deen is like this. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam looked, really, the hadith says he looked up, because this is someone, he might be interested in marriage. He will spend some time with her, right? Or he spend the rest of his life with her. So he's not looking for lust, yani. This is not a lustful look. It's like the person I'm going to be living with. How I'm seeing, how I'm perceiving, right? Everyone has a taste, right? So this Sahabi comes and they said, and the woman agrees. And I'm saying, Wallahi, I'm just trying to imagine for a few seconds how she felt when Rasulullah said no. She did not move, she did not go, she's standing there. Now what? Right? This is Sahaba sitting, and you can imagine, right? This is ajib, yani, amazing, right? Then she accepts to marry another one. What does that tell us? Wallahi, this hadith is full of lessons. Like 100 lessons. She came, she wants to get married. And when she wants to get married, she wants to get married to the best. Right? But now if the best is not interested, she's not against that. That's all right. But she's standing there and she doesn't want to leave. So now someone said, I'm interested. She did not even second guess. If Rasulullah, now you don't want to be my husband, but you're my wali now, right? So you choose. And he said, okay, you marry him. Yes, okay, I'll marry him. And they went married. Think about this one for a while, right? So that is what our community should be. But sometimes because we make strict what should be okay, and we make okay what should be strict. That's why we end up getting the opposites on both sides. Make sense to you? Yeah. Why our children, and I'm going to finish by this one. Why our children are so in big struggle, but they are suffering more than anybody else, especially our Muslim children. Why? Because they are squeezed by a plier. You know plier? From both sides. And this is bad. Like from one side you're telling them haram, 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 right? And the other side is telling them halal, halal, halal is all right, right? So now they have two pressures on them. One pressure of what they know it is wrong, but there is no alternative when the people say is also wrong. This is so. It is very, very important when you want to be strict. You know what is strict and how strict you can be, right? But you have to have an alternative for venting as well. Okay, so when I teach a class, sometimes people are against and they say, why you make the boys and the girls sit together, right? I say, I'm teaching them a class. It's not a dating service. They are learning a class, and they are, mashallah, both of them are decent, dressed properly, sitting there, and this is not strange for them because this is how they sit in their classrooms, right? So I'm giving them, the only difference is this is a religious setting. So that's what they do, but I'm telling them it can be done Islamically. Now if I don't let them sit, now actually the problem comes out of that is bigger than the benefit. You see? So to be social, to be okay, I'm sitting in a non-Muslim. But to learn Islam, I have to be like that. So that's the idea here. If I want to do something that makes me feel good, it has to be an Islamic. And if I want it to be Islamic, it's not going to make me feel good. You see the psychology of things? So that's why when they grow, become independent, they don't want anything to do with the Islam. Because it tells them what not to do. Only. Alright? But when I say, alright, you guys sit, boys and girls, in the class, we were going to sit in this class, but this is an Islamic studies class. Right? The way you will communicate with each other is different. The way you're going to deal with each other is different. We can have projects that I will have both boys and girls sharing in the project, but I want to give them the alternative which has restrictions in it. You see? So yeah, we can communicate together, but Islam make a system for it. Now, we communicate with each other, but there is no system. No, I would rather have a system. You see the psychology here in the back of, that's the hidden curriculum I was telling you about before. Hidden curriculum. Curriculum is like we're studying this book, and that's what you expect to do. But the hidden curriculum is the values that they get out of that. Okay, that's why, subhanallah, the kids I was teaching the class in 2009, 2011, 2003, you will find that they think in a certain way. Even if they do wrong, this is not the issue. It's a problem, but subhanallah, they kind of like have the idea that the wrong things, there is a right way to do. Okay? So, but if somebody you live without, and when I provide them with something, it's very restrictive, they don't want it. So for them, the only way is this way. But even if someone chose this way, they know that there was a right way that they could have done. Right? So all of us, when we were in our teenage years, we make problems. We mischievous, to a level or to another. What brings a person back when they grow up? One of two things: a shock or a conscience. Right? Conscience. When a person becomes mature. Okay? So when you graduate from college, this is one level. When they get married, this is another level. When they get children, there's another level. When they get older and gray hair starts, that's another level, right? Sahih. There is maturity starts on stages. Right? And that actually brings you back to become religious. Okay? But provided that you have a seed. Seed is planted long time before. That is the seed that brings you back. You're settled. Okay, I've graduated from college and now I'm having a nice job and everything. You know what? I should be thankful to God. Then you start coming back to God. That's why you find many college students, they are playing around and all of that. Once they graduate from college, right? And they get a job, you find them coming to the masjid. I see that. Right? Some others, this doesn't do it. But once they start looking for marriage and everything, now they really saw the whole issue, the whole problems, right? Now they want to make a right choice. So they only find that where? The religion. But how would they know that if they did not study when they were young? Right? So when they were young, it brings them back. Some people, they are as late as it becomes 45, 50 years old. When they have children, their children start leaving. They really now, okay, what this is what and that class makes you study and you come back to the deen. But you will remember when your parents were telling you to pray when you were 7 years old, when you were 8 years old. The seed is there, right? That's why I said focus on the seed, make the children love Islam. Inshallah Rabbil Alameen, they continue with it. But even if they go out, they will make it a 360 and they will come back, right? And this is based on studies. It's not like something I'm just creating, but it's based on studies. People will come back to what their parents were telling them to do and they were refusing. They will come back to it sooner or later. But the deen makes it rapid, right? So that's one way. The other way is the shock. Someone is like going, and they lose their parents, or something happened, or they get divorced, or a big in their face. Then what? Then they look for counseling. I'm lost. Okay, come on. So it happens either or. That's why we say studying the deen and making strict what only should be strict, and making easy what is okay, no restriction on it. So programs in the masjid. And maybe a few will, it may sound strange, a program or a dinner in the masjid. And the college student, boys and girls, they say salam to each other, how do you do, or they're not going to sit like, have dinner like, and joke and all that. They're going to do that. I'm saying like, I enter the masjid or the prayer or the food place, it's as if like, there is some air of, of don't, something called don't. I see it, Everyone is like, don't, they are. I enter, you sometimes sitting in the masjid champion, right? And I'm in there to see the sisters. The sisters like, like, what? I'm not coming to socialize with you. I'm just saying, Assalamu alaikum. Wallahi, say wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. What is the problem in that? What is the problem if a group of men sitting and one sister said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Should be respect, Not even with looking at the sister or how she looks, but those are the things that really we need to have in our community. It is not that restrictive as we sometimes think. And that's why all the youth or that they don't want to attend. Why? Because they see this as like, what's going on here? You know, I can be social, I can be okay, and I'm not doing anything haram or anything wrong. But you know, when it comes to the masjid, it's like kind of very tense. It's very tense, right? So this is the point I wanted to mention, yani, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan for listening. May Allah reward you all. We continue, inshallah, on that ayah of believing in all the prophets next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If you have any